Hello everybody and welcome back to the Articulation Collectors channel, and today we're taking a look at the Legacy Evolution Crosscut figure. And before we get started on the figure, like always, let's take a look at this box. So just like all the other Legacy Evolution boxes, it's got that cool blue, green, purple kind of look to it. Very cool. On the front here you have a picture of Crosscut in his vehicle mode. It says Crosscut right here. You can see Evolution. Transformers, top of the box, you can scan the QR code if you want. On this side you just have some art of Crosscut in his robot mode, looking really cool. On the back here we have him in his robot mode as well as his vehicle mode. And this figure is a repaint of the Legacy Skids, so pretty cool. If you have that figure, you know what this guy's like. There's his Evo Fusion gimmick, where you can just combine all of his weapons together. Pretty cool. And on this side, you just have the Legacy art. Let's get the box out of here. I'm bringing Crosscut back into here. And like I just said, he is just a repaint of the Legacy Skids with a new head. But wow, does this figure pop with this nice silver and red color. I actually really like how this looks. And as you can see, it's more or less, the whole thing is like a shiny kind of silver. Well, most of the vehicle mode parts are shiny silver. A lot of the robot parts aren't as shiny, but they're very close color match. Very cool looking. Get a little bit closer on that head sculpt there. It's very nice. I really like this head. It's got a lot of like almost Optimus Prime vibes to it. And since they really like this mold, I really hope we get a reboost out of this mold, which would essentially just be a red Skids with this head on it. Very cool. As you can see, there is his Autobot insignia. He's got his vehicle grill chest going on up here. He's got red shoulders. Well, red wheels on his shoulders, rather. Red body in there. Just a very cool looking figure. I mean, Skids is the classic character, but I almost prefer this color on this mold. This is a very nice color pattern. I normally don't like red a whole lot. Like, I don't dislike it, but red's definitely not my color of choice, but this is sweet. Definitely nice. Got those yellow eyes up there with a little blue stripe. Very cool looking robot mode here. He does come with 3 accessories, technically. So here we have his gun, which I prefer to have this thing pegged together, just because the handle is so long it looks kind of doofy if you just have him holding the gun. But you can split this apart. There we go. And you can peg this on his wrist and then have him hold this gun here. But like I said, that handle is very long. It just sits a little bit too high for my liking. Kind of wish it was a little bit shorter there. But pretty cool looking. So there is 2. So you can just peg that into that hole right down here. And I definitely prefer this little triple barrel blaster look. And then it also comes with, just like Skids, his Energon axe. And like Skids, it is blue, but this is actually a much darker shade of blue. But all in all, pretty cool. The Evo Fusion gimmick here is you can just put that on top. And yeah. Not a huge fan of these like Energon weapons they did in Legacy. Kind of think they're kind of just a waste of plastic. This gun is definitely cooler. I just keep it right there. But that's about it for accessories. As for articulation on this guy, we can take his gun back out of here. His head is on a ball joint, so you can get a little bit of side to side. Tiny bit of up and down, and can do a full 360. His arms can do a full 360, but you kind of have to hinge them out of the way of the door here. And his arms can go all the way, like all the way. He does have an elbow, or like a bicep swivel, as well as a 90-degree elbow joint and wrist swivel. He does have a waist joint. He can kick forward this far and can kick back this far before you hit his windshield, which you can kind of hinge out of the way to get a little bit more range. Then he has thigh swivel, as well as a little past 90 on the knee joint, and some really good ankle rocker joints. So all in all, I mean, it is just a repaint of the Skids mold. So if you know what that figure's like, then you know how this figure works. It's pretty good articulation, I would say. We can do some quick comparisons here. Alright, so here we have Crosscut, as well as the original use of this mold. This is the Legacy Skids. And we can scoot them back just a little bit here, and we can grab the Velocitron Speedia 500 Burnout. And we can also grab the Legacy Crankcase. So let's scoot these guys over. Try to fit all four on frame here. There we go. And actually, now that I look at them, I do believe Crosscut has the same head mold as Burnout here. I did not realize that before. Very, very cool looking. As you can tell, these are all the same mold. Very, very similar, except he is slightly retooled. They all have the same legs. They all have the same waists. They all have the same lower bits on the arms. These three have the same shoulders. His shoulders are slightly different, and his, like, where the doors and the roof connect are just slightly different. But all in all, same figures, same guns and everything, except he doesn't come with the lower section or this. He comes with the front of his vehicle mode. But definitely cool to see all these guys together. But we can get all of them out of here, and we can do some more legit size comparisons here. So we have Crosscut, and here is the Legacy Evolution Leo Prime, or Lio Convoy if you'd rather. And I think these guys look great next to each other. They came out, well, actually I think he was wave 1. He's wave 2, so my bad. I think I called them wave mates. But we can get him out of here, and we can bring in the Generation Select GS01 Combat Megatron. As you can see, definitely a deluxe class. But all in all, very, very cool figures. Let's get him out of here. And we can go ahead and get Crosscut transformed into his vehicle mode. To see the transformation guide, link will be down in the description as well as right up here. Alright, so here we have Crosscut in his very, very cool red and silver, well, silver and red rather, Honda City Turbo-esque mode. It is not licensed, but that is what it is. But very cool. It's got those dark blue windows. Those super cool. A lot of people didn't like this, but I love it actually. The red rims, they're so cool. It's so unique. You ever seen a car with red tires and red rims? I have. This. Nothing else. Ever. But very cool. And like I said, in robot mode, most of the parts that you see in vehicle mode are this nice shiny silver color, except for the rear bumper, and it does kind of stand out a little bit, but nothing too bad. One point of concern I do have, it hasn't happened yet, actually. I think it's starting right there. But the way that you transform this with the shoulders and how they like kind of pop in and out of this section here, I am a little bit worried of that shiny paint starting to chip. And I haven't noticed it yet, but I kind of think it might be starting right there. So do just be a little bit wary of that. You can potentially chip some paint on this guy. Just be careful with it. That's about all I can tell you. But very cool looking. I actually really dig this. This is very unique, very cool. Looks very nice up on the shelf. Very cool looking figure. You can take his guns and you can put them right here. And you can take his little blue axe thingy and put it right there if you want. Do whatever you want. You can arm him up. Pretty cool. And he does roll fairly well. I think I've kind of been forgetting to show if they roll or not, but he does roll pretty good. But pretty cool figure. For some vehicle mode comparisons, here we have Crosscut and the original use of the mold, Skids. Very cool. Definitely good to see. I can show this off now, just how different those two shades of blue are with the axe and the windows. But there is Crosscut. There is Skids. Here is once again Burnout with his nice. These two actually look very similar, just kind of like opposing colors. This is black, this is silver, but they have the same red stripes. And then we also have Crankcase. So there are all 4 uses of this mold. There will be a Walgreens exclusive Medics coming soon using this mold. So once I get that, I'll be sure to, if I remember, to show off all 5 of them together. Definitely a cool lineup we got going here. We can get these guys all out of the way, and we can bring in his wave mate, one of his wave mates. This is Shrapnel, the Legacy Evolution Insecticon. Very cool. There's a little size comparison for you. But we can go ahead and get Shrapnel out of the way, and we can get this guy transformed back into robot mode. And once again, transformation guide will be linked in the description as well as right up here. Alright, so here we are back in his robot mode. And to finish this video up, I actually really enjoy this figure. I think this is probably my favorite use of the Skids mold so far. Just a very unique color pattern. Pretty cool head, which I didn't even realize was the same head as on Burnout. But, oh, let's fold his tires in. Totally forgot that. There we go. But all in all, very cool figure. If you are a fan of the Skids mold, or I believe he's actually from the IDW comics. I think this is Senator Crosscut, if I remember correctly. But if you are a fan of the mold and you want to get your hands on another one in a really cool color, I would definitely recommend it, because this is actually a really nice looking figure. All that being said, if you want to help the channel grow and check out my Patreon like Mega Doomer, Nelson Cards and Collectibles, and Glow Tan Spa, it's down in the description. And over there we just have some chats and stuff about Transformers and what's going on in the news and what's coming up on the channel and stuff. So if you want to keep up to date, make sure to check that out. I hope you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think of this figure, and have yourself a good night.